Welcome to Amazon Answers. I'm Jared, and today we are discussing Future State Wonder Woman. Now, all right, context for you all. What is Future State? All right. So, around the 2019-2020 timeframe, we started to get word that DC was planning this event called 5G. Now, this was when DC was owned by AT&T, and as a promotion thing, AT&T wanted 5G, wanted DC to like tie into like to like essentially be an advertising thing for like their new 5G service. So we got words that it was like 5G and stuff, and art and stories got done. But when it was leaked out that 5G was happening, the entire fan base was like, "No, we don't want this. Do not do this." So what's so of course DC did what DC does, and what they ended up doing as a compromise is came up with a story called 5G Future State, which was basically discussing a possible future of the DC universe. And there's like a lot of different ways they went with this, which I think is really cool. There's a lot of different like characters that they reinvented. This is where Jace Fox made his debut as a character. Hey, what's up, Cameron? And the way it would work out is that this is also where it was like revealed that like Superman was on War World fighting as a gladiator. So some of the stuff set up in Future State did happen. This is also, though, the first actual story appearance of Yara Flor, the third Wonder Girl. And she appeared in two titles, actually three titles, because what they did is each of the series had basically multiple had like two issues. So there was or maybe more than two in some cases. But you had Wonder Girl, you had obviously this, you had Justice League, then you also had Superman Wonder Woman, which is the team up of her and, hey, what's up, NJ? A team up between Yara and John Kent. And so they did that. And so let me tell you this particularly is awesome. This was one of the series that I really enjoyed because it really highlights Diana. Now, Diana and like her effect on like the DC universe, particularly later. So the first story, and I'm going to pull this up on the screen so we can talk about this. Do you ship? Oh, John and Yara? See, do I ship John and Yara? I wouldn't be opposed to it, and they do have a fun little back and forth partnership in this series. I wouldn't be opposed to it, NJ. Let me put it to you that way. I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. Let me put it that way. So what we got here. So I'm just pulling up the trade on DC Universe so we can go over that. This features a bunch of different characters, first of which features our good friend Nubia's in the first story and Grail. And you guys 100% know by now that I love Grail as a Wonder Woman villain, and I love any opportunity to see her get featured. She fights Nubia, and the first story is basically a Nubia story where like Nubia and Diana had kind of a falling out, but Nubia like took over as a Wonder Woman at the time. Oh yeah, in this there are multiple Wonder Women, if you will. And Grail retreats, and it turns out because Grail is resurrecting a certain a certain witch. Let me put it to you that way. An absolutely interesting witch named Cersei. And essentially that's the plot, and Cersei tries to like take out Nubia, and Nubia essentially her like Wonder Woman gifts, her like armor, if you will, shows up and helps her defeat Grail. That's basically the plot of this. So then we get Yara. Now, Yara is like, was interesting because, by the way, when that cover was revealed, that like lit the internet on fire in a good way, because everyone's like, yes, finally a Wonder Woman character that's attractive, or like drawn, embracing the attractiveness of the character. Me personally, I like Yara. I wish DC did more with her, as opposed to what Tom King does by making her like, by essentially like, what's the word, by making her the swearing person that robs banks. Yes, that's what Tom King made her do. Oh my god. So she fights a bunch of monsters. This one is definitely more of a mythological like story. And by the way, so this also spawned the Wonder Girl book that would be about Yara, written by Joelle Jones, and that would go on for, I think, like 6 to 12 issues. I forget exactly how long it goes for, but she has like a Pegasus named Jerry, and then she meets this little this little nymph. And what I love is that they have to go to the underworld, so it's literally like the DMV line. It needs more love, man. She needs to be put on a team besides the Wonder Woman family. Yeah, exactly. She's one of those characters that I do think is 100% salvageable, because you did have a fantastic first impression for Yara as opposed to Trinity. But I love this. You go to like the underworld, and it's like there's like a family and friends rewards members like card. Essentially, it's like a frequent flyer miles. And she goes, okay, maybe one more. If I were to upgrade my status, what's the difference between the gold and the platinum tier? I just love that. It's so funny. I like what, and see, it's like gate 1 check-in. It's like, it's essentially, it's an airport, except the airport is like Kyron the boatman. Hey, what's up, RJ? How you doing? And I really, really, really love this. And then we see Cerberus, and this is such a better version of Cerberus than the dumb Corgi version of Cerberus. I'm just telling you right now, that is completely stupid. And then it's basically Yara being a badass. That's what I love. I'm speeding through this because I want to get to the Diana story, particularly because the Diana story is my favorite of this collection. And then I'll go back and like we can go over stuff as well. So she fights this weird shadow creature. By the way, the colorist on this is the same colorist for Absolute Wonder Woman, Jordi Belair. That's why it looks extremely good. Like, really, really, really good. Yara, not to be confused with Yara. Yeah, exactly. And it turns out that Yara is a member of a lost Amazon tribe that like actually lives in like Brazil and such. And they essentially escape, and then it was like a test and stuff. So okay, then we get to Superman Wonder Woman, which features John Kent. I think my problem with John and Yara is because I'm one of those people that don't think John should exist, because he's a redundant character. Because here's the thing, you could tell the same story of like a Superboy trying to live up to Superman example with Connor. You don't need John. In my mind, he just muddies up the water. It's just DC's obsession with the Trinity having biological kids that is like, no. And here's how I know it's the obsession. Remember, it's like with DCKO, they named all the kids, and then it's like just John, Damian, Yara, and I go, and Elizabeth, I go, wait a second, what about the other kids? And then I love where Scott Snyder is like, yeah, that's true. We kind of screwed up on that. We'll redo the E-Tech to keep it general. And I go, yeah, you should have done that to begin with. But yeah, it's more of like she's in the Fortress of Solitude. We see like all the super costumes. And we see Connor's costume. It's actually really cool with that. And then they fight Solaris in a black hole. Actually, I'm just going to skip to the Diana part, because that's where we really want to talk about for right now. All right. So for the Diana story, this one is like one of the greatest Wonder Woman stories ever, by the way. So this is in the distant future, and this one deals with the psychological consequences of Wonder Woman's immortality. And she visits the Batcave and sees like the ghost of Batman. And it's essentially her saying goodbye because like the world is ending. She straps, hey, what's up, Jargon? Wonder Woman straps the bat belt around herself and then goes to back to her island. Well, I actually, at the same time, you see like Orion and Big Barter are like essentially essentially are killed by Darkseid. And then Darkseid is like saying the anti-life. Yeah, it is like, I don't know if it's millions in the future, NJ, but it's like in the very distant future. Let me put it to you that way. And Darkseid finds that the anti-life equation is like the undoing of reality. We see Swamp Thing has turned into a tree on Themyscira. Darkseid shows up on Earth, and we see like the Amazons are like preparing for like one final stand, and then Shadow Demons and Darkseid show up, and Wonder Woman and the Amazons go to fight Darkseid at the same time as Darkseid is like fighting Superman. But I love Superman with like the Santa beard. I think it looks really cool. She fights Darkseid and then literally Omega beams all of the Amazons. And then Superman and Wonder Woman face off against Darkseid. And what we're seeing here is essentially this is taking place after what we just saw. And Wonder Woman is like floating in space as like the globe is like the Daily Planet globe is like being consumed by darkness. It's essentially the anti-life equation, undoing reality. Wonder Woman wraps the Superman cape around herself, and if you notice, she has Hal Jordan's ring around her neck as well because the Justice League has been killed. Superman is like at Darkseid's mercy until Wonder Woman frees him, to which Superman takes Darkseid, and this is where it's heavily implied that Diana and Clark get into a relationship at some point, because when Superman is like punching Darkseid into the sun, by the way, and the sun is like destroyed, Wonder Woman goes, I always wonder what his last thoughts were. To hope that they would be about me would be selfish. Yeah, exactly. So she's like, a part of her wants, like, kind of wishes that she was the last thing that like he thought about. But of course, Superman would think about everyone, about the planet and such. And she floats through space, and we see like all the different, even the gods were taken out. All the Justice Leaguers were consumed by shadows. And then we find Brainiac's ship, but it's only occupied by the Spectre, who is fading because it's like there's no purpose for him anymore because everyone's been killed. Diana's literally the last being on Earth. And she essentially lets herself be consumed by the darkness before her purpose is revealed. Yeah, they were in a relationship. Yeah, exactly. That's what I really that's the implication there. And I love where when it's written by, I think if I'm remembering correctly, this is written by Clooney and Conrad. Hang on. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is good storytelling, but I love where whenever Clooney and Conrad wrote Wonder Woman, it was always implied that she at least had a crush on Superman, and I really appreciated that, obviously. So what Wonder Woman does is she discovers her true power. She does the whole Zack Snyder booshing thing with the two gauntlets, and then reboots reality with uses all of her power to reboot reality. And essentially, she rebuilds the DC universe. And she becomes a constellation, and essentially becomes like essentially a goddess, but this is done really well. Now, here's why this story is really good. And here are some covers by Jenny Friesen, by Jeremy Roberts, by the Dodsons, and then Peach Momoko drawing Wonder Woman, Becky Cloonan drawing Wonder Woman, and then we have some design galleries. But let's go back to this. So here's the thing. This does, as you guys know, Britt and I don't like Diana being old as dirt, as Britt so eloquently puts it. I'll keep this on the screen. So obviously it's like, Jared, why would you like this story? Because this really weighs in on it. Because it has because here's the thing. I don't doubt that Diana is immortal. Same reason why I don't doubt that Clark is immortal. So but my whole thing is like, I don't want Diana being super old when when her adventures in DC starts. Because it's like, why would I like, because it's like, then you can't ship her with literally anyone, because then it gets into grooming territory. So I'm like, no, I don't want, I don't think that's the way it should work. I really don't. Yeah. So yeah, but it's like, so with this, you then see like the consequences of like her being like immortal, and like her using that immortality to end up like rebuilding the universe. Because when you think about it, if she weren't immortal, she would not be able to have done this. She is all and the whole story deals with Wonder Woman's curse of immortality. However, what's really cool about this is Diana realizes the purpose of her being immortal. And I really love how she is the one. And again, when I went back to talk about how Wonder Woman is the most powerful and most importantly, the most important DC character, this is the example I use, because DC literally gave her the role of rebuilding the world. So CL, have you seen any of the Ultimate Universe 2.0 comics at all over the last few years? I read Ultimate Spider-Man. I read the first arc of Ultimates, and I'm reading Ultimate Wolverine as well. So those are the ones that I'm currently tracking, and I'm enjoying them. They're really cool. They're not as good as the absolute DC books. I'm just going to be clear on that. It's not as good. But back to this. This is what I like about this. The great thing about Future State is that because it's in the distant future, you can take this as a possible future, but it's not like air quote canon. It's like an alternate it's like essentially it's an alternate future of DC in the multiverse and such. So that's kind of where I always rank this, and that's why I can like read these books and be like, oh, okay, this is actually really cool. This is where you on the Justice League, by the way, you had Avery Ho, Flash, you had Arthur's kid as you had already you had Arthur and Mara's kid as the Aquawoman. You had Jace Fox's Batman. There's a lot of really cool stuff. So can you answer this question? Who is written more normally or out of character? Ultimate Gwen Stacy or King Wonder Woman? King Wonder Woman, because here's the thing, Jargon. Ultimate Gwen Stacy is an alternate version of Gwen Stacy in an alternate universe. So that's why I excuse that. King's Wonder Woman is in continuity. Like, this is how Wonder Woman acts. The main Wonder Woman acts. That's why I'm fine with them acting differently in the Ultimate Universe, because that's an alternate continuity. So that's where, like, I'm gonna that's where I tell you that. Yeah, it's like if an alternate universe version of a character is acting differently than the main universe, I excuse that. And that's why it's like, if King's Wonder Woman were just in Elseworlds, I would have no issues with it. Granted, I would think it's still a stupid plot, but I wouldn't have this like aversion to it, because it wouldn't be main Diana. How if it's main Diana, why would I? It's like, why wouldn't I care about it? So that's kind of what I'm going off of here. But yeah, so in terms of this, in terms of this story, again, it's like, even with like the Yara story, it's just showing you Yara having a fun adventure. It's not necessarily doing a lot of stuff, because this series, the Yara series, is why so many people gave Yara a chance in her main book. Now, granted, you could argue that Joelle Jones didn't do as good of a job as she could have with that series, and yeah, that's fine. You can say that, but it's like, I don't think it was necessarily that bad. I covered a few of the issues in that, and it's like, all right, it's not the best. but it's also like not really like the worst thing ever. As opposed to the way Yara is done now, where she's like the drunk, where particularly the way King writes Yara, where she's the I'm not sure if she's drunk, but she's the stereotype of a Latina woman that swears a lot. So I'm like, okay, dude, you're not beating the problematic allegations anytime soon, brother. It's not working for you. But yeah, so what other future state Wonder Woman questions do y'all have? Is there any particular like story you guys would like me to go back over? Any particular visuals? Like, let me go back here. And again, it's like, is this also Jordi Belair? Because hang on, I want to see this because. So it's Jen Bartel is doing the art. Okay, so it's probably Jen Bartel doing all that. Jen Bartel is like amazing. Yeah, Brazilian fans were pissed. Yeah, it's like I need to read more of the other stuff. But yeah, they definitely got a little stereotypical when it comes to Yara. The difference is she's still been written better. That I think that if they actually put in the work, you could make Yara a great character as opposed to Trinity, who I still don't think is at the point where you could have like redemption. But anyway, Jen Bartel is such an incredible artist. I mean, she drew one of the shorts in Wonder Woman 800, which I freaking dug. It is like really, really, really good. And it's like, even with like the colors, look at the colors on this, particularly this panel right here. Like, look at that. And as you can see, again, it's the Green Lantern ring around her neck to like remember all of her teammates. I also like the way her hair is done, where like the tiara kind of gives her like a giant ponytail and stuff. I really love that. Wonder Woman is starting to get the Wonder Girl problem that all the family problem of the long DC. Yeah, exactly. There's too many of them, and they keep trying to add them. It's like, again, it's like with Trinity. They added her so King could invent his own Wonder Girl, or like the daughter of Wonder Woman, which I'm like, look, you could have given Wonder Woman a daughter and been fine with it, but the way you did it is horrible, and the way that you represent the character is horrible. And really, here's the thing. King really just wanted to make a Wonder Woman, a Bat family character. That's why. That's 100% why they did that. I got that's the thing. That's why. Why do you think she only interacts with Bat family characters? Trinity is kind of annoying, but not Damian Wayne, like when he first showed up. Yeah, but but here's the thing: this Wonder Woman, Trinity has punched people that she shouldn't be punched. Called Diana a toxic parent when she's not. So I'm like, if you're trying to make me like this character, you are doing literally the worst job you could do. Like, I'm sorry. That is like, you're making me hate the character so much. It's like, no. If you're trying to convince me that this character is awesome, maybe you shouldn't have like done this. King is also not a good writer. Not as good. Yeah, exactly. Also, you picked the wrong writer to introduce the daughter of Wonder Woman. Like it's like, here's the thing. King is salty that he got taken off of Batman, so he's trying to write Batman in any way he can. Why do you think Batman was like a big comfort in the Wonder Woman book? And then why do you think that Trinity so far has only interacted with either Steve or Bat family characters like Jason frickin' Todd, Alfred, or Selena, where Selena is being more of a mother than Diana is? And I'm like, no, that is a horrible, horrible, horrible thing. Like, no, I'm sorry, that is stupid. I'm like, you cannot do that. If you want this character to be, this character is the daughter of Wonder Woman. Not, first off, not the daughter of Steve Trevor, no matter what King wants, because let me put it this way. Either the character gets retconned out, or the Steve playing a role in her origin is retconned out. Okay, I will admit to you that King Wonder Woman has not been great, but it's better. No, it's not better than Clunrad. The Milk Gods, was that them? I don't think that was them. That wasn't them. Are you talking about the Milkman story? That wasn't Clunrat, as far as I know. What was the Milk Gods? Um, who do you think should come first in the DCU? Donna, definitely Donna. Let Donna be the first Wonder Girl, and then maybe add Cassie down the line. Yeah, making Selena of all people a better mom than the female icon. Where like he goes, I'm gonna teach you how to like. I'm gonna teach you. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Selena saying, I'm going to teach you how to use makeup because Diana won't teach you. And I'm like, no, for all Wonder Woman's problems, she is not in the same category as poor Donna Troy. Yeah, they keep doing a lot of Donna Troy origins or redoing it, but I mean, she got dumped by Kyle Rayner. Her husband got killed in a car accident. Her husband and kid got killed in a car accident. So that really doesn't help. But that's like the weird part there, and I'm like, no, I don't like that at all. Anyway, so what else do you guys want to talk about with this in terms of at least she didn't get knocked up by her own kid like Captain Marvel. Yeah, it gets worse, Jargon. Captain Marvel was knocked up by her own kid so her own kid could be born in the main continuity. That's what that was. And I'm like, who thought that was a good idea? Who thought that was a good idea for the 200th issue of Avengers? Now the 200th issue of Avengers is perpetually like, yeah, why the hell would Amazon wear? Well, here's the thing: the Amazons would not be against makeup. It's just Diana would not see it as a requirement for would not see it as a requirement for like being beautiful. Diana would see like yeah, you can wear makeup if you want, but you don't need it to be gorgeous. That's the difference. That's the difference. So that's the difference between the two. But it's like, no, you guys, what are you doing? Like, I'm sorry, that doesn't work, nor does it like make you look good as like creatives. I wish some of the writers of Wonder Woman would watch the 2009 animated movie. It does a nice cliff notes. Yeah, exactly. 2009 is one of those, because since King came on Wonder Woman, I essentially had to go back and look at like Wonder Woman content that I had previously been critical of, and essentially what happened was it made me reevaluate a lot of things. Like, I used to hate the 2009 movie until I rewatched it and I was like, okay, that's that. I see it. That's interesting. That is actually really interesting. I really, 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 really dig that. But it's like, essentially with that, essentially continuing on with that, yeah. It made me redo it. Alfred also, NJ, it's not rarely. Alfred never interacted with Steve Trevor. That's the stupid part. It's not rarely. He never. I'm fairly certain I can say that. I know he's a great guy. Yeah, exactly. And I go, no, he's not. Okay. This Steve Trevor glazing. Here's the thing. This was one of King's goals. His goal was to essentially make it so people like Steve Trevor more. I know you do your podcast about Wonder Woman and Superman relationship. At this point, it seems like DC has made Lois main continuity. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, okay, but with the Super Wonder podcast, it's not just about them being a couple. It's more of them interacting and being like, and then being like friends or partners. Because it's like tomorrow's episode that's coming out is going to be about Wonder Woman and Superman being mentors of DC. It's not necessarily like them being couples. Steve Rogers seemed like a much better love interest. Are you sure? Because they made it definitely seem like um 1 second, everyone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with that though, they literally turned Steve Rogers into a Steve Trevor in that book. They even had Trinity show up, and it's like I'm like, no, I don't really like dig that. Obviously, I would rather have Cal be a love interest, but how's this? Wonder Woman doesn't get a love interest. How about she just gets to do her job and like because when you think about it, Diana's what the character that will put the world over the Wonder Woman is the character that will put the world over her own happiness. So she really can't have a love interest. Current DC treats them as total strangers. It's only world's finest with her being the third wheel. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that would be if I got to write, wouldn't Wonder Woman be lonely though? Well, no, she'd be fulfilled by like her job. They've never really like done the whole Wonder Woman being lonely. And it's more like I think Wonder Woman would probably see it as like I can't because it's like it distracts too much from my mission, especially since remember leading up to Wonder Woman 19, she literally sat on her ass all day and mourned Steve while the Wonder Girls were going into harm's way. So I'm like, I'm sorry, that doesn't work. I really think that if they're not going to put Wonder Woman with Superman, don't put her with anyone because all of her love interests that that DC has tried to force, like Trevor Barnes, Steve Trevor, especially now. Well, actually, if I were DC, I would bring back Steve Trevor as the older man from post Crisis and keep him as like a brother figure. Do not have him be a love interest ever if you're going to bring him back. If you're not going to bring him back, keep him dead for like Alfred him 5 to 10 years. Keep him dead. And same thing with Trinity. Retcon her out, and then like and keep her away for like I'd say like 5 years, and then bring the character back. Like give the character a full on reboot. At this, no, do not have her with Cheetah. Do not have her with Cheetah. No. No. Do not have Diana with Cheetah at all. Arguably, Cheetah also should not. Yeah. Cheetah should not have like it's like Cheetah's a murderer. Okay, yeah, I know. Cheetah should not. It's like when Greg Rucka says that, oh, Cheetah's definitely in love with Diana, and I go, no, you're just trying to fulfill a furry fetish, bro. At this point, because that's what I'm convinced of. Because it's like when you look at it, it's like, okay, why do you keep pushing for that? Her love interest is drinking blood. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm like, stop it. Okay. Just stop it. Yeah. Drinking blood for her guys. Yeah, exactly. Well, not only that, it's like he also devolved the character because she was done with the whole she has to eat people and drink blood in order to be normal. So he like devolved it so he could be the one to give her that character development. And I go, bro, that's not where the character's at. That's not where her character's at. That's my problem there. So I'm like, no, okay. But so essentially that's kind of where things stand right now with like that. I still think she is a one night furry stand. Oh my gosh, yes. So I talk about this on Super Wonder tomorrow, so be sure to check this out at the end of the episode. But I'm going to talk about it right now as well. So we got word that the Trinity comic book has been delayed 7 weeks. And hey, what's up, Parker? How you doing, dude? So Wonder Woman is the Wonder Woman comic itself. So here's the thing. So Scott Snyder said that at New York Comic Con, they're going to be announcing a lot of new creative teams on books, and some creatives will be moved to other projects. Some will be elevated. And my thinking is, I don't want to get your guys' hopes up because it could be literally anything. It could be not what I think it is, but essentially what I think it could be. Could. Emphasis on could. I think that they're going to announce that King is leaving the Wonder Woman book, and the delay on Trinity is so they can like change up the ending a little bit to make it less like open-ended. That's what I think. Because the sales have not been there. Wonder Woman's about to drop. In fact, actually next week we should be getting the September sales, so we'll check that out. Next week should be the September sales, and then we'll see like where it stands. But it was at 85 when last I checked, and Trinity is at like 134. So Trinity is like flopping hard for a book that like was marketed in literally every DC comic book when it was coming out. It just kept going down and down and down and down. Yeah, exactly, Jargon. Hush 2 is like, at this point, you might as well cancel it. It's not coming out. So I'm like, that's true. Jargon, it could end up being that. Yeah, I think DCKO could be fun. By the way, the Wonder Woman one-shot in DCKO is not being written by King. It's being written by Joelle Jones. So I'm definitely going to check that out and definitely review it. Oh, yeah. The sales have been terrible. Although I consider the Trinity comics are worse. Both are bad, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Trinity sales are way worse. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, I think that if Wonder Woman drops below, and by the way, is Joelle going to draw it? I don't think so. But if she draws it, I will buy it. I would still buy it. I'll look this way. I'm still going to buy it. So likely what I think is if Wonder Woman drops below 100, yeah, they're going to move him off the book. I would be fairly certain they would. Again, not saying they will. I'm not being like a definitive statement, but I'm saying it's likely that they could do that. But yeah, because like I think 100 is like the at least the cutoff point for like the Trinity. So I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you, it's like that's where you should be concerned. And Absolute Wonder Woman continues to be one of the top books for DC Comics. So I'm like, it's showing DC that there is potential with the Wonder Woman character, but I'm just like, you guys keep screwing it. So what are you doing? I agree with much of what you're saying, Jared. Fingers crossed. See, yeah, exactly. Now, again, it's like it could end up that they don't move him off the book. It could. So I don't want you. I don't want to like overhype you guys. Let's just say I'm going to be watching New York Comic Con with great interest. Luckily, New York Comic Con is in October, so we won't have to wait that long for it. So we can definitely check it. But in terms of like, excuse me, sorry. In terms of like the way I see it, I like this way. At least Trinity is a mini series that we're not gonna have to see, and it's an alternate future mini series. So there you go. Absolute Wonder Woman, I think, is one of the perfect examples of alternate universe for the character. They use her basic premise of the character and do something fresh. Yeah, exactly. But she still acts like the character. That's the thing. Kelly Thompson recently saying in her social media that she is pitching for a very big project that she is very excited about and named a huge DC book. Wonder Woman main book is a very big project for her. Yeah, exactly. And it could be that. It could be that DC looked at the sales of Absolute Wonder Woman and said, can you do that for the mainline Wonder Woman? And if that happens, NJ, if that happens, my dream team to write Wonder Woman, my 5 creatives that I think could do great with my 2 creatives that I think could do a freaking-tastic job for Wonder Woman are Kelly Thompson, number 1, because I've seen her write Wonder Woman with Absolute, and it's the one book that it's the best book at DC. Jeremy Adams, I think, could do great because he has a pitch as well. But I do think they'll probably, if they give it to anyone, it will be Kelly, because she has demonstrated that she gets the character and that the fans will support her. So I'm like, yeah, I honestly, of the ones, Tom King's homie, Jared William, why are you like this? Why?
Why did you say that name?
I've been keeping my hype and hopes and stuff like that, or better term. Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's why I'm saying moderate your expectations, because if it doesn't happen, you're not disappointed at least. Hey, for as annoying as Trini is, at least it's not from the Ashes X-Men. Oh yeah, Robert and I talked about from the Ashes, where it's just boring X-Men. There's nothing really going on where I'm like, it's honestly, when we talked about New 52, New 52, when we talked about Krakoa versus that, Robert and I were like, we miss Krakoa at this point. Because Krakoa, granted, Krakoa was not the best era for X-Men, but Krakoa actually got looked like it had a direction. The one book I have just for the art, and exactly, Yargun, that's my issue. The art is fun, but I'm like, what the hell is happening in this book? That's why I think Martian Manhunter is the absolute book that's doing the worst, because I can't decipher it. It's still nice. I enjoy it. Let me put it to you that way. It's just not my favorite absolute book. The Trinity the Trinity books are the peak. The mainline series with Kelly at the head is a great idea. And knowing what kind of writer she is for Wonder Woman, I'd say the best decision would be to make at least. Yeah, exactly. It's like this way. Of the writers that they could put on Wonder Woman, she is the one most likely to do a great job based upon her past. That's what I'm telling you right there. She also said it will involve a few birds of prey, maybe Black Canary or Barda. It could be that her arcs involve a lot of the Wonder Girl, a lot of Wonder Woman teaming up with other DC heroes. That could be it. In other words, NJ, it could be straight up that, and I would love that. All right, Children of the Atom. Yeah, exactly. The X-Men is a mess, but I'm saying compared to the two, at the very least, with Krakoa, it at least looks like they had a story behind it. Because I can't admittedly think of many writers who want to write Wonder Woman. Well, Jeremy Adams does, and he has a pitch together for Wonder Woman. Obviously, if DC would let new people write Wonder Woman, I would love to write Wonder Woman. Yeah, Birds of Prey is going to end December. It could be they told her, hey, if you want, do you want to do Wonder Woman, and then we'll just end your Birds of Prey book? And she goes, sure. And I'm like, okay, I like that a lot as well. It's and also it gives me the opportunity to read her entire Birds of Prey run, which I'm definitely going to, because it'll be in trades. So I'll definitely be checking that out. And I'll be basically picking up any Kelly Thompson book I possibly could from DC, because she is amazing. It's she even did a great job with the crypto story. So there's a lot of good stuff that Kelly Thompson writes. I'm just going to tell you that right there. So what other questions do you guys have about this? Any Wonder Woman content that you guys want to see? Any Wonder Woman books that you guys would like me to check out? And it's that's and what'll definitely happen is Britt and I will be praying. Yeah, exactly. That would be terrific. So, did you like Calson, the Future State Yara story? I did, but I still think that John is a redundant character, because you could have done that with Connor, and it really wouldn't be that good. How is Absolute Wonder Woman doing in sales currently? Oh, it's one of the top DC books. Right, it's in of DC books, it's in the top 5. It's in the top 5 in DC books. The only reason why it may vacillate is despite it launching at like the end of the month, is because sometimes Marvel books sell really well and they get on the list. But when it's just DC Absolute on the list, Absolute Wonder Woman is consistently in the top 10. Consistently. For a year, ladies and gents. For a year. Like, that's at the point they cannot claim that it's the absolute, like, they cannot claim that it's just the absolute hype, because if it was the absolute hype, then Martian Manhunter should be selling a lot better. Connor has just had enough problems not being erased from existence the last few years. Yeah, exactly. And with what He Who Must Not Be Named but had a horrible Superman run tried to do with him. Yeah, so there is that. There is that. But yeah, but it's at the point where I'm like, I like the Superman Wonder Woman book, but it's nowhere near gonna be the same as the Charles Sewell book. It just won't. It just won't. It definitely just won't. But yeah, so what else do you guys want to talk about? Could be about anything Wonder Woman related. The second arc is also good, but the first one tells a complete story. That's why it's so good. Versus Fear and Zod and Super Doom show up and messed up. No, it wasn't Super Doom that messed it up. It was Tomasi coming on and completely tanking it. Writing a Diana who everyone loves for a freaking year and winning a night. Here's the thing, NJ. She didn't just win. Absolute Wonder Woman technically won multiple. I'm going to do this. Hang on. How many Eisners did Absolute Wonder Woman win? Also, Tom King's Wonder Woman was up for... actually, Tom King lost every single Eisner he was up for. So here's what Absolute Wonder Woman got. Absolute Wonder Woman got Best New Series for the series as a whole, and Best Coloring for Jordi Belair's work on the series. And the creative team also got other nominations. But the point is, it won 2 Eisners in 2025. And King has won 0. Second year in a row that the King run has lost. That's why I've taken to referring to it as the multi-Eisner Award losing series. Whereas opposed to King of Wonder... to Absolute. And you know what's the best part, NJ? You'll love this. In the trade for Absolute Wonder Woman, it says Eisner Award-winning writer Kelly Thompson is joined by breakout artist Hayden Sherman and Eisner Award-winning colorist Jordi Belair. So it says, did you get any of the Batman #1 polybags when they came out? No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance. I had Batman #1, but I didn't get the polybags. I'm not really into the whole polybag scheme. It's like, I'm just like, no. It doesn't work. I got live. I like to do a YouTube unboxing. Let me know how that goes. As part of a figure unboxing I did. Oh, sweet. That's sweet. But yeah, it's like, though I still say, and I've been saying this for a while, everyone, I think that we are in line for a Wonder Woman resurgence. Absolute Wonder Woman proved that people care about Wonder Woman. And jargon. I'm the guy that spends $300 per month on comic books. What else do you think might join the future Justice League with Damian, John Kent, Lizzie Prince? Well, first off, I don't think Lizzie Prince is going to show up at all. But in terms of a future Justice League, it'll definitely be Aquaman's daughter. And I would say one of the Flash's kids, maybe. I would say I don't want all the Flash's kids because I don't want multiple speedsters on the Justice League, because that just like doesn't work. But that's my my point there. But yeah, so what else do you guys have got in terms of like other stuff you guys want to chat about? In terms of what do you think they'll do with Steve Trevor at this point? If King doesn't bring him back, they'll keep him dead. They'll Alfred him. Are these are there any concepts you would like to see see with Wonder Woman if they do more Elseworld stories? Well, maybe where like you could do post-apocalyptic where Diana's the last surviving hero. They've done that with Batman. You could also do one where the Justice League get like taken out by the gods and Wonder Woman has to reassemble the forces. Have you liked? No, I don't like evil Wonder Woman, so no, I don't. I haven't liked any of that, which is exactly why I've always said that absolute like DC needs to stop DC needs to stop doing Injustice because it's just caused significant damage to Wonder Woman as a character. So I would definitely say if I had my own way, I would legit make it where DC like never does Injustice again. They love to do her evil from I don't know, because she's a warrior. That's why. Evil Vampire Queen Barbara Gordon has sucked too. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, but it's like I just hate the evil Wonder Woman idea. I just do. I just do. It's just horrible. But so what other questions do you guys have about like DC Wonder Woman? My predictions for the future of Wonder Woman. There's a lot that's been going on with DC. Do you like Vampire Wonder Woman DC versus vampires? I know she's evil, but Queen Vamp Diana could be cool. Maybe Diana's a good vampire. Again, if you don't make her evil, that's fine. It's just I'm tired. Evil Wonder Woman has been overdone to the point where it's like it's almost as overdone as evil Superman, honestly. Do you think evil Batman stories make more sense than evil Wonder Woman? Yes. I would love to see. How about this? Here's a good Elseworld story for you. Batman kills the DC universe where like it's Tower of Babel, but Batman decides that the DC heroes are too like dangerous. So he does the contingency plans, but it's like Ra's doesn't steal them or like augment them. It's Batman that actually takes out the Justice League. And then he realizes he's screwed over the entire like world because the Darkseid invades at that particular moment. Do you think that evil Batman? Yeah, exactly. I definitely think that like evil Batman would be a dope idea. They kind of did a similar concept with Nightwing New World Order, where it was Nightwing taking out all the superheroes. Considering that they made many evil ultimate versions of Batman, with Batman Who Laughs comes to mind, and considering who Batman is, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, exactly. If you want to read the worst evil version of a character, read Catwoman, Guardian of Gotham, Elseworlds miniseries, Jim and art as well. Selena as the Batman a woman of that universe or something. Yeah, that sounds horrible. But yeah, it's like if you wanted to like, or what you could do is make it where like all the other heroes are evil, but Wonder Woman's good and she's the one, or like maybe they're like mind controlled. Like it would have been cool, like if for Injustice they literally do like Wonder Woman has been like captured by Cersei the entire time, and like Injustice Wonder Woman is Cersei the entire time, and like the real Diana shows up and she like saves she saves everyone. That'd be a cool idea. Out of the Trinity, Diana's the one least likely to do evil. Yeah, exactly. Hey, what's up, Nemo? I mean, he did have a contingency plan, contingency in Infinite Crisis. Speaking of which, the anniversary is coming. I know Infinite Crisis is my favorite crisis. What I wanted to see from Dark Knight's Metal is they showed a Diana who became the Cheetah. Yes. Like, see, here's the thing with Metal and Death Metal. They showed so many great characters, like stuff that I would love to see, but then they only showed the Bat characters. I'm like, no. What? I can't. Clark is evil. I can't even see Diana as evil, nor others. Batman and the other heroes, though I failed to remember their names, maybe a few other heroes, I can see being evil, but it's not Clark and Diana. Yeah, exactly. Because they're not even the dark heroes. You can't. It's like Batman. You could kind of say is evil because of the contingents, because of the like, what's the word? Because of the like lengths that he will go to like protect the world if he detects them as threats. I definitely don't see this working out that well. Honestly, they don't use the Wonder Woman family, Bat family, Super family to explore the different heroes. Yeah, they don't. And first off, not every hero needs a family. I'm just gonna tell you that right there. It's not. It's not. It's definitely not. She doesn't need, just because it works for Batman doesn't mean it works. Like, that was the whole reason for Trinity to exist. King literally said, because Superman has a kid and Batman has a kid, Wonder Woman should have a kid. And I go, that is the most surface level reasoning to give Wonder Woman a kid. You could have, you don't tell me that's the reason. You could literally just say, hey, we felt that DC editorial felt it was time for the character to have a kid. So let's do that. And then, but no, you decided to, you decided to you could have just internally told us that, but no, you just, I'm like, no, that doesn't work. Spoilers, Zatanna will debut in Absolute Wonder Woman. Yeah, it's already been like leaked. She's captured by Carol. Yeah, exactly. That's so cool because that would be a team up where Absolute Diana forces her to like change sides. That would be really cool. I would like that. I mean, if they could, Wonder Woman could have a show where she not only fights villains but meets many heroes. Yeah, I know. That's kind of what Britt and I recommended they do. At least most of the Trinity can sort of feel like they can handle a kid. What if Hal Jordan had a kid? I think Hal could actually handle having a kid because he has Carol. I think that it could work with Carol. Yeah, I never understood the whole Diana needs a kid. Yeah, exactly. It's the most surface level reasoning. And second off, why would you say that? Why would you have that be the marketing for the character? Are you stupid? Why would you have that? Because then it looks like Wonder Woman just gets the sloppy seconds of the Trinity. That's it. That's what it looks like. But no, you had to do it that way. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. That is the worst way that you can market a character. Like, the worst way. But anyway, so what other things do you guys want to talk about before I wrap up for the week? And by the way, this book is great. I really love it. So let me also do then again, King doesn't like Diana, so there you go again. Yeah, I'm convinced, she hates Diana. I'm telling you that. I wish Diana would take another shot with Yara and maybe try to assassinate her character. They could afterwards, but I think they can. Of the characters likely to actually like work, I do think that they could do that. All right. Hang on. Let me do this. Okay, so start a poll. Can I join? Can I join or no? I keep my panels like closed unless otherwise notified. I like to make sure that I only have like my my co-hosts on here or like a guest that I occasionally choose to have on. if you want to join a panel occasionally, consider becoming a member, because part of the membership is that once a month I do a members only panel where you guys can come on and be on a panel with me. I've been reading the Green Lantern comics and the latest Hal Jordan story. It's great. Yeah, Jeremy Adams on Green Lantern is great. Is 100% great. Next week's topic. So Phil Jimenez. Let's do Tamaki. Wait, how do you spell Jimenez? Let me see. Himenez. Enez. And the option is, let's see, what's another option that we can do? Did that. I did Dead Earth because I did that with Absolute Wonder Woman. So Tamaki, I could talk about Wonder Woman 750. That could be fun. Wonder Woman 750. And I still badly want a Lego Wonder Woman game. That'd be fun. That would be so much fun, and I would love that. And I did Amazon's Attack last week. Let's do Wonder Woman Conan as my fourth option here. All right. So the poll is live for you guys to pick my next topic. I'd be down to see an animated series for Wonder Woman. That'd be cool. Yeah, Britt and I did an episode on what an animated Wonder Woman series would be like. It's actually really good episode. But anyway, so the options are Phil Jimenez, Mariko Tamaki, Wonder Woman 750, where it basically has like a bunch of Wonder Woman like celebratory issues. And then Wonder Woman Conan, which is a dope crossover written by Gail Simone, but it's actually really, really, really good. Yeah, so far, Phil Jimenez is like commanding lead at 100%. So I see so far people want Jimenez. So Jimenez is winning. So then we get Wonder Woman Conan. So it's Jimenez and Wonder Woman Conan are in the running. Wonder Woman Conan with 33%, with Phil Jimenez at 67%. How come you stopped talking about your new direction verse? Because JJheat and I got really busy, and we haven't had a chance to do more content with that. We will be doing more content with that for sure. 100%. But yeah, so let's do another check. So far, Phil Jimenez is still winning, which I'm fine with. I love that run. I just completed it because I have the omnibus right here, and it is one of the best Wonder Woman runs I think I have read so far. And I will say that's the other thing that like King writing Wonder Woman so horribly has made me do. I've gone back and like I pre-ordered every single Wonder Woman omnibus that's been announced so far of the post-crisis. I'm too far behind to get the Silver Age ones. I may start collecting those as well. But it's like I do. I make sure to pick that up. Do you think Diana would be a good love interest for Hal Jordan? That's an interesting one because they almost set that up. By the way, I think they could have done I think that maybe, but Carol exists. I'm like, here's the thing. It's like, I don't necessarily want to like give Wonder Woman a love interest that already has a really better one. You guys ever do a reaction to the Infinite Crisis audiobook? I don't do reactions to audiobooks but we will do a discussion on Infinite Crisis for sure when it's anniversary for sure. But I'm not doing like I don't really do like the reactions to audiobooks and stuff. But yeah, but Phil Jimenez's Wonder Woman is one of the most well-drawn runs I think I've ever seen. And so far, Phil Jimenez is winning with 60% of the vote. And so there's 5 people that have voted, and there's 8 people watching on YouTube. So if you want any of those, just go ahead and vote. Otherwise, I'll just end the poll soon. And yes, NJ, I want that game too. That could be really fun, really fun. Oh, is that the Holy Wonder Woman Bible you mentioned a few streams back? No. That's a hang on. That is this book. George Perez Wonder Woman. George Perez Wonder Woman is the holy grail essentially of Wonder Woman runs. It is perfect in my opinion. This is the one. Jimenez builds off of a lot of what Perez started. That's why I also like this. Hey, what's up, Tevia? Yeah, it's definitely great. It's definitely great. I definitely enjoy it. But okay. So as for 6 votes still with Jimenez. So it looks like Jimenez is going to be the one. All right. So I guess I'll end the poll there. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about Phil Jimenez's Wonder Woman run. I'm so excited because I love that run. And Phil Jimenez won. All right, good. So that's what we're going to talk about for next stream. And my day is going great, Tavia. How was your day? But yeah, so that's where I'm gonna leave it there. But in terms of like what you guys can expect from Comics League, tomorrow Britt and I are releasing Super Wonder Legacy episode 111, where we talk about Superman and Wonder Woman's roles as mentors by showing how they mentor characters like Vanessa, Connor, Kara, and a few other characters, and like how that like really shows how awesome of characters they are. I still haven't picked the topic for Wonder Woman Wednesday. If you guys have any requests, you can go ahead and drop it in there. As for Under Two Capes, Robin and I are going to be talking about like touristy fans, like fans that really just want to come in and change everything. And then let's see what else. What else? So movie night, we're going to be talking about the first Aquaman movie. And okay, what else? What else am I going to do? As for Super Wonder Legacy coming on Saturday, that's going to be live, and we're going to be comparing Superman and Wonder Woman to Big Barda and Scott Free. In other words, the other couple that Tom King has royally screwed up and probably will continue to do stuff. But so that's where I'm gonna leave it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you guys at any of the content that we are going to do next week. But anyway, stay at work, everyone. Remember, Steve Trevor, Steve Never. He belongs at the bottom of a hydraulic press set to maximum. Zoe is the max about for life. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.